assembly member. Right.
Susan, were you handing it off to me? Because I heard something, but then I heard a message.
Yes, handing off to you.
Okay, well, thank you, Susan, and also Louise, for taking the time this evening to explain the New York State Homeowner Assistance Fund. And for those who are attending, we appreciate your attention, and also we encourage you to spread the word. As you know, with COVID-19, there have been just a long laundry list of impacted parties. And we've worked hard to protect tenants, to keep them in their properties while COVID was ravaging through our communities. We've worked hard to put funds out to help tenants repay what they owe to their landlords. And that program, although it started slow, has really picked up steam, and the state of New York has really worked hard to expand those programs. And now we're on to another leg of the journey. This deals with homeowners, and there are many homeowners who have struggled, some who may have actually been landlords that have struggled. And unlike the other programs, this is one where our partners, such as HomeSave, are actually out ahead of the game to explain the program to the public who's interested. And I thank all of you for doing this, because there is going to be some information you need to gather and have at the ready for when the program opens up in the first week of January. So, just as I always talk about, the month of December is Advent and it's a time of preparation. Let's extend that preparation for the Homeowner Assistance Fund as well. So with that, I'll leave it to the people who actually know what they're talking about. And that would be Susan and Louise.
All right, great. Well, thanks again, Assemblymember McDonald. I'm Susan Cotner with the Affordable Housing Partnership, and we're one of several nonprofit housing agencies and legal services groups that are participating in our HomeSave Coalition. Services are free to area homeowners because we have received funding assistance from the New York State Attorney General's office to provide very expert help with families who are looking to stay current with their mortgage and prevent foreclosures. So what I'd like to do, which is great, we're seeing some questions coming in through the chat. So what I'd like to do, if I can, is get through these few slides that we have, and then we're going to answer every question that comes in to the best of our ability. So what the Homeowner Assistance Fund is doing is kind of softening the hardships that families have suffered because of the pandemic. And it will assist with mortgage delinquencies, arrears with property tax, water and sewer bills, and then can assist also with manufactured home loans and lot rent delinquencies. And it's a combination of using mortgage advocacy to help negotiate good mortgage modifications that are affordable for folks, plus financial assistance. So it's a combination of those two things that are going to be offered through this homeowner assistance program. And Louise, we can go to the next slide. So who's eligible? So it's households that had a financial hardship because of COVID, and it's not only just a loss of income, right? You lost your job, but maybe you increased your expenses as well because of COVID. You had to have different transportation expenses, different childcare expenses because of the pandemic. Eligible equal to 100% of the area of the county median income. So it's specific to each county where you reside. So for example, in the capital region, for most counties, up to and be eligible for the program. The larger the family, the more income. And you need to be a New York State resident. Clearly, you need to own and occupy your home. So this is not for a vacation property or second homes. If you own a two-family home and you live in one of the units, that would be an eligible property. So we really encourage everybody to apply. The portal that we're going to show you, the website, that opens up January 3rd. And for folks that are behind in their mortgage, or if they're in a forbearance on their mortgage, either a first or second loan, so in other words, not only a first mortgage loan, but also maybe a home equity loan, if you're behind on that, you would qualify and you should apply. If you have a reverse mortgage and you're in default, you should apply, right? If you owe taxes, water, sewer bills, if you're behind on that home loan or retail installment contract for that manufactured home, or rent, monthly lot rent or leases, you should also apply. All right, so what will happen in terms of participating? The application is on the website. You're going to submit as much information and answer all the eligibility questions and that type of thing. And what is being offered after you apply is financial support to help address those delinquent payments. And the focus is on coming up with an affordable outcome. So if you're being offered a modification or a deferral payment plan that's not affordable to you, New York State will help with additional cash to help make those payments affordable going forward. They have a great call center that they've set up and is staffed during the month of December. It's pretty much during 9 to 5 business. In January, they'll add extra hours. And they're going to have a case manager also on board to help you look at kind of what mortgage relief options are out there. So the expectation that New York State has is that there's not going to be enough money to help everybody. So their job is to work with you to get the best possible and most affordable mortgage modification that you can qualify for. And the lenders are getting prepared to do that. They learned their lesson from 2008, and so they've got a few more systems in place to help homeowners get an affordable mortgage modification. So that'll be an important part of the whole process. How can your loan be modified affordably? And if it needs some extra cash from the Homeowner Assistance Fund to make it sustainable for you, then they'll work with you on getting you the money you need. And then finally, there's other local help, right? So the call center is based in New York City, but the agencies in HomeSave, and you'll see a slide at the end of all the local groups here, of professional housing counselors who are experts in the field of foreclosure prevention and legal aid services, same thing. Their expertise is working with consumers to kind of level the playing field against the banks and their attorneys who come in and defend the banks. So really, it's a great team of folks here locally working. We meet on a regular basis to stay up to date with all the current information, and there's a lot of expertise here. So again, our goal, stay in your home, right? That's the most important thing that we're all striving for. So this is the month of getting ready, as Assemblymember McDonald just said. We're going to take you to the website after the end of this presentation to show you what your resources are that we really encourage you to look at. I have to say that New York State did an awesome job with this website. It's very user-friendly. It takes you through the application and the questions that you're going to be asked when you get on the website January 3rd, when the portal, as they call it, opens up. There's got a guide to the application, the questions that'll be asked, information on your questions that will hopefully be responded to through the FAQs, a checklist of all the documents that you need to collect. They're trying to set up the website so that it's as user-friendly as possible, right? So they have ways of checking and confirming that you, the applicant, actually own and occupy the home, right? So they're going to some databases that New York State has at their disposal to minimize the number of documents that you need to upload. But there still will be documents that you need to come up with, such as those showing that you are currently delinquent or behind with payments. So the website, nyhomeownerfund.org, and then the call center. Right, next slide. All right, So again, January 3rd, as we've mentioned, the state thinks that these funds will go very, very quickly. What we are encouraging people to do is, even if you're not 100% prepared, do try to get into the portal on January 3rd or as soon as possible in order to start your application. Unfortunately, it is a little bit of a first come, first serve. Folks, as I mentioned before, if you have a mortgage loan, they're going to work with you and your mortgage servicer to try to get you the most affordable modification that you can, and they have some certain guidelines for that. Folks who have tax arrears, water sewer arrears, lot rents, there will be a kind of a different track on that in terms of documentation and process and that type of thing. So depending on what's going on, you'll get some answers at that website. Please feel free to contact us. We'll certainly help you with your modification and make sure that you've done as much work as possible to get prepared to submit a successful application. That's what we want. We want everybody in the capital region who needs help that you get that. All right. This is the picture of the website. Again, it's I'll say it again. It's actually it's probably one of the best websites I've seen, and very clear and a lot of great resources. The application guide takes you step by step through the application, so you know what the questions will be. The policy manual, if you want to get into the nitty gritty in terms of, again, some of the details of how they're operating the program and why they decided to do it in a certain way. The FAQs, where to get local help, our contact information will be there, the document checklist, the income chart, and they are trying very hard to get it into languages that meet the needs of all New Yorkers. All right, so here's our contact information here in the capital region. Again, in each county, we have a great nonprofit housing company that we're experts in foreclosure prevention. We've worked, for 20 years negotiating with lenders to help get mortgage modifications affordable for families. That's really what we have developed a lot of expertise in. If you do end up in court, we've got great attorneys at Legal Aid and the Legal Project to assist you in representing you and, again, getting the best modification mortgage workout situation as possible. Here are the numbers. So again, I don't know, Louise, do you want to go? I can go to the website and show everybody what that looks like. While you're doing that, I can answer a couple of the questions. And not that I necessarily know the answers, but you've just had a modification. I would recommend that you do apply through the website. And what'll happen is that I think it's attorneys, believe it or not, from the New York State Attorney General's office who will be helping the case managers kind of review the modifications. And really, it's your opportunity to make the pitch that the modification that you were enrolled in isn't affordable. And they'll work with you to actually develop a plan so that you can do that. In terms of assistance with utilities, unfortunately, anything that is not going to become a lien on the property is not eligible. So unfortunately, National Grid type utilities are not part of this program. Only stuff that could potentially become a lien that could lead to a foreclosure of the home. So just the water, sewer, and the property taxes. You all have heard that if you were to call National Grid, for example, they do have money to help with back utilities. So we do encourage you to check in with National Grid and get enrolled in their program that they have. National Grid has a consumer advocate that, again, we can connect you to. And that's their job, is to help you get access to all the programs that they have available. So Louise, maybe you can show the application guide. If you click on that, just to give you a sense of how easy to work this website is, if you were to click on Get Started, here are the initial 3 eligibility questions. Do you own a home in New York State? Is it your primary residence? Where do you live? How many people in your household? So that they can figure out, are you income eligible? What's your gross income? And then, did you experience this loss of income or an increase of expenses, right? So, and then they'll ask you these other questions. Right? So if everything is positive and you get to move forward, then you like the sample application that you're going to be looking at. Are you applying on behalf of somebody, or are you applying on behalf of yourself, right? And so you move forward with that. You have a single family home, a two-family, where do you live? And then they can go from there. So on January 3rd, as many of these questions as you can get through, the better, because that puts your application in line, right, as they work through them, first come, first serve. So again, our recommendation this month is to look through this guide, figure out what documents you might need to pull together, see if any of these things, questions help address your concerns, and go from there. So again, a lot of really great resources. There's a document checklist there that shows the documents that you might need. So I just want to point out here, for example, you can give them permission to do the research first. They use this system called Melissa. If you don't want them to do that, then you do need to upload one of these documents, right? So we're hopeful that by saying, yes, go ahead and do your own research, that makes it less stressful for you in terms of needing to come up with quite so many documents. And there's a lookup system called Precise ID. A little scary that they can find out all this information, but it hopefully is making your application process a lot easier. That's our hope. Same with income documentation. They have a way of going through the Department of Labor to confirm income. Again, they're looking at all adult household members, people 18 and over. I think my 18-year-old is an adult, I guess. You do need to show this one piece of paper, and that's proof that you're delinquent. One thing that I did read is that they are looking for people who apply to be 30 days past due. And so they are looking for that past due note from your mortgage lender on property taxes, condo association fees, whatever that is. But so you guys, again, just I think it answers a lot of good questions, and you can decide what it is, how much of their system you want to rely on versus how much you want to upload yourself. And let's see, I think that's about it in terms of this website. Again, very user-friendly. We're hoping that you find it so. And again, our goal tonight is get the word out to please go visit nyhomeownerfund.org. Go through all the paperwork that they've shared with you. And I think you'll be very well prepared come January 3rd. Again, we're happy to be helping to spread the word about the program. We'll hope you share the information as well. And again, we're here as your local resource. When you call the call center, you're talking to somebody in New York City, which is totally fine. They're going to be super smart about the process, and they'll answer your questions. But if you want to talk with someone here, again, we've got a lot of great foreclosure prevention expertise in the Capital Region. So Louise, is there anything else to share?
Just that there will be limited resources. So the more you can have your application together and ready to go, and have a good have already kind of worked with your servicer, the better. And then also, as the Assembly member mentioned at the beginning, we're really hoping that folks will let their neighbors and relatives and friends know, because we do want to make sure that the Capital Region gets, and our neighbors and homeowners here get, their fair share of these resources that the state has made available. So we hope you'll let other folks know.
All right, any other questions? nyhomeownerfund.org is really what we're encouraging everybody to go check out sooner rather than later. And I think you'll find it a huge resource. Louise, you just reminded me, you can put in your email here if you like, and if there are any updates to the program, they will send you that email update. Certainly also, I'm sure you'll be notified and reminded of January 3rd and coming up with that. All right, Assemblymember McDonald, do you have any parting words of wisdom? He's left us. All right, so he's, I guess not. He's saying good luck to you guys, and please jump on the website here and learn what you can about the program. All right, any other questions? Be short. We really appreciate that you hopped on the call today. And good luck. Again, if we can provide any help at all in answering your questions, that's what we're here for. We want to definitely provide that assistance. Homesave.info website gives all our contact information, homesave.info. All right. Well, thanks again, everybody. Have a great night. Good holiday. We really appreciate that you've been on tonight. Thanks again. Take care.